My name is Chris Genti and I'm the Natural Areas Manager for the Randall's Island Park Alliance. So we're here at the Living Shoreline site on Randall's Island. This 1.5 acre site is one of the last major sections of Randall's Island to officially be restored and enhanced since the Park Alliance was founded in 1992. Well, Randall's Island is best known for its sports fields, hosting more than a third of Manhattan's outdoor sports fields, our large concerts that happen in our event area. Randall's Island is also home to some amazing other amazing assets. We have a urban farm, which currently during COVID has been donating over 2,000 pounds of food to local food pantries, but during a normal year would be open for exploration for youth to learn about nutrition and food production. We have about 20 acres of beautiful horticultural gardens that line our pathways and provide special areas for reflection and habitat for pollinators, and 20 acres of restored natural areas, which include 2 salt marshes, a freshwater wetland, and this Living Shoreline site, in addition to 4.5 miles of largely unobstructed coastline. The Living Shoreline site, before it was constructed and construction was completed in spring of 2019, the Living Shoreline site used to be a staging area for the large events. It's where dumpsters would be kept and parking areas would be found. And the vision through New York City Parks Department and funding from the Department of State in collaboration with the Randall's Island Park Alliance was to create an enhanced recreation area for our neighbors just over here in East Harlem. The easiest access point for them on the island is over the Manhattan span of the RFK Triborough Bridge. And we wanted to make sure that when our patrons walked across that bridge, they would be able to come into a welcoming space that connected them with their river. And so we created a multifunctional design that has our deteriorated stacked stone seawall that relayed the stones to create scalloping patterns. Inside of those scalloping patterns are intertidal marsh plantings. Moving up those steps, you'll find a series of shrub plants that were deliberately put in through live stakes. We have precast e-concrete tide pools that came from a special company that works on those products. The textured surfaces and the varying elevations are designed to recruit different marine organisms. And we've also put in survey markers which give us a historic marker in this point in time of sea level and what elevations we have on the site. So in addition to repairing that damaged stacked seawall, which is very porous, and so a lot of it had sort of scooped out through erosion, and that was creating turbidity issues in the water as well as deteriorating the quality of the island, we created a series of upland plantings, which represent salt-tolerant native coastal plantings that we would have found here. Those plantings provide rich habitat, they're stabilizing that seawall edge, and they provide an educational opportunity as well with an interpretive pathway that runs along through there. Separating that section and the rest of the park is a beautiful lawn area that has mature shade trees. It has picnic areas which are regularly used. We've seen a lot of great, everything from parties to family barbecues happening there all summer long. There's barbecue areas, ADA accessible picnic tables, as well as certain pathways for access that are located at the site. And so it becomes really a great place for not only education, but also quiet recreation or a nice shady spot in the park for any kind of festivity that people are looking to have. And we kicked off this site with what will hopefully be an annual, but was our first waterfront festival, where we had art groups and science groups come into this area here, and we were able to really kick it off and welcome people into this new space. As you move further along on the site here, we have a meadow. That native plant meadow is serving to provide certain phytoremediation benefits. So the original plan was to build a beach that went right down to the water and would provide really unique and unprecedented access in the borough of Manhattan to its waterways. Knowing that there were certain historical and legacy contaminants that were in the soil from hundreds of years of development everything from bits of coal slag from when they used to have furnaces that they would scrape out, to also being, adjacent to a highway. We realized we had levels which would be consistent with coastal areas throughout New York City, but we still didn't want to make it into a area where we thought small children might expose themselves by eating a fistful of soil to it. Instead of scraping it out and taking all of that soil and spending our entire project budget on landfilling it in another state and sending our waste elsewhere, we worked with a team from SUNY ESF and other researchers, including from the Forest Service, to create a plant palette that ideally will either stabilize, uptake, or even degrade the contaminants that we're concerned about. And so the most common which of these is our polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. And PAHs are common in our environment. If you have something grilled, those grill lines contain PAHs in them. So it's not something that we don't have exposure to, we just don't want to have more exposure to. And so we've devised a study where through applications of compost tea and supporting microbial activity in the rhizosphere of these plants, we believe that there is a good potential that these plants will actually degrade those PAHs from dangerous hydrocarbons or potentially unsafe levels of hydrocarbons into less harmful carbon elements. And so we'll actually be implementing a grant study in 2021 in conjunction with Brooklyn College and Queens College and their soil labs to study whether or not we're finding any success with this. And we're really encouraged by it because even if we find out that our study didn't degrade those contaminants, we'll be able to do it in a quality controlled environment that then provides a base for the next project in the city to work off of in terms of creating those safer soils. We also regularly do habitat monitoring on this site, and prior to the construction, we had very few species of wetland or aquatic birds that you could find around here. We noticed almost immediately after construction the arrival of various sandpiper species, which were coming and foraging in the little intertidal zones of the marsh here. We also have been working with a group of other partners to create a collaborative tide pool study where we can understand whether our tide pools are getting inundated on a daily basis with salt water, whether they're filling up with rainwater, and how that might change over time. We're also interested in understanding how the water quality exists in there. What are the oxygen levels in our tide pools? Will they be able to support life? And if so, what type of life are we finding being recruited there? And so after the first year, we haven't seen a ton of recruitment, but these are designed to be here for the long haul. And so we're excited to see what might be recruited over the next 5, 10, 15 years. And making sure that we have a baseline now and making sure that this is also something that can be compared to other sites around the city and not just a one-off example. But we're really proud to have this multifunctional space that provides coastal resiliency, that provides recreational opportunities for our neighbors, and that also offers us an opportunity to really better understand our urban environment and its unique ecology.